Okay, finally we are back in Aether Raids after a pretty long hiatus here. Like I said before, I don't like doing these consecutively because if I'm not changing up the defense, there's not really much to talk about. But we have actually made substantial changes here. So you'll notice we're already running two of the most recent units that came out on the New Year banner. We have here the New Year Baldr, who is a pretty damn good offensive player phaser. She's pretty much tied with Camilla for being the best melee attacker, I would say, at the moment. Then we, of course, have the New Year Heimdallr, who is the first Heimdallr I'm able to use myself. I wasn't able to get the Mythic one, even though I tried, and really the only thing missing from this team is the Corrin Ring, pretty much. That's the one thing I don't have at this moment that I would like to run. I had to go ahead and use Micaiah here for Kanto Curb instead of actually running the Corrin Ring, because, of course, that gives you the Vein Tiles, which sort of has Kanto control on it. And I would have much rather been able to use that instead of running Micaiah, and then I'd be able to slide King Freyr in here. His absence is definitely felt because that means anyone who has undefended is a big problem, and there's a couple of units that have that. Even though this isn't anima season where you're running into Elm, you're going to be running into much worse. Like the Layla unit, the refined Fallen Dimitri's got it. Also Bride Emblem. So just a lot of threats, potentially, that could just come out and rain on our parade here. Now, as far as save units go, we have the Rhea here, the Valentine Rhea with a melee-focused build. Shield Fighter with Hardy Bearing pretty much gives her maximum survivability in those melee matchups. We have also Vanitas, who's going to be our Far Saver, and yes, Far Save, not Magic Save. You got to ditch Magic Save on her for Far Save, because you want her to be tackling all the ranged opponents, and you want Rhea to be tackling all the melee opponents. So we've got Vanitas here. Again, because I don't have the Corrin Ring, I have to have support for tiles somewhere. And Vanitas right now is the go-to for me, being able to set up the stone tiles right away. Heimdallr, of course, is going to put Foresight Snare on the lowest unit on our teams, that is within 3 columns and 3 rows of her. So in that case, it's going to be Baldr, Vanitas, and Rhea. So you got to attack them if you're going to end up attacking them if you're trying to attack anybody. And then if you want to attack behind, if you're trying to aim at my other units, because that's one of the ways you get around Foresight Snare, is not attacking the units closest to the bottom. If you try to do that, it's just my safe units that are going to save in, and you're going to end up attacking them still anyway. Foresight Snare doesn't work on save, but it doesn't matter, because the idea here is we just want my main attackers to be protected at all times. So that's what we're going for there. And then we have, of course, Mythic Baldr just to blow up the enemy safety fence. And if they're going to try to player phase us, they basically get one turn to do it. Micaiah does have some shenanigans where she can get extended range with the Lin Ring, and also her assist giving her another action. And then Camilla with the Micaiah ring there is able to do pretty much the same. Also, Miracle on Camilla just so she can potentially live any counterattacks the opponents are trying to do. Now, we also have a unit in the special slot that I wanted to try out. I had an option between 2 potential units to put there. I was going back and forth between the Harmonic Ike and also this new Edelgard. I ended up deciding on Edelgard for one reason alone, and it's because of this. We potentially lose minus 75 lift loss from a single loss if someone is able to beat us clean, and minus 75 is a little bit too much. I don't think I really want to be losing that much lift from one fight. So the potential of Edelgard being able to attack and maybe take out more than one threat is the reason why I chose her over Ike. And we also have the Edelgard ring on Baldr here, so after she attacks, she'll be able to move again as well. She has the same shenanigan as Camilla, where she has 5 space reach with the warp, and then she also has pass. So she can attack something, even if they're a tank that she's unable to do any damage to. She's probably going to live because of her survivability. And then after that, she's going to warp down below and attack somebody else that's not a tank. And it's really hard to hide from this Baldr. So that's pretty much what we're doing here. We're just going for a combination of tanking and long-range offense with maybe multi-actions, so we can also take out more than one opponent and hopefully conserve some lift. It didn't really work out for us too well, though, because we still got hit with a minus 55 and also a minus 75. So I wasn't able to fully mitigate lift loss there. And these first 3 fights were with my old defense because the New Year banner came out midway through the season and I wasn't able to make all these updates right away. So this is the first relevant defense, the one against this Japanese dude here named CYL. And then we go all the way up to the top to K. So let's get this show on the road, take a look at what's going on here in Aether Raid's offense. All right, so our first victim here is going to be CYL. So we got here a Mythic Asker at plus 10. Okay, fully built up. We got here a Mythic Milla at plus 5. We have the Winter Ivy. We got Harmonic... Oh, wow. Harmonic Ike at plus 10. Damn. This unit just came out. That guy must have summoned hard on that banner. All right, then we have Mythic Dagger at plus 6. And then we have the Spring Plumeria and Olivia combo. All right, let's see what this guy goes for here. It seems like he's going to try to Omni-Tank us with Ike. Which, I mean, that's only going to be in our favor here. So... putting Ike in harm's way like that, normally that's fine because he is one of the better tanks, but we turn into red style there with Baldr and we attack. Ike is unable to do any damage at all, and now we're free to warp and pass and go ahead and attack. This guy does have Warp Bubble on his team, by the way. I believe his Milla had High Dragon Wall. He has the Korin Ring putting up these tiles here, and then, of course, this guy had Barricade. None of those were in range to stop Baldr, though, technically, when we warped in there. But had Baldr decided she wanted to attack somebody lower, none of these blockades would have mattered because she has pass, pretty much. All right, Rhea goes in next. She has Pavis, though, so she should be okay here. Yeah, just barely manages to live with 1 HP. Unfortunately, Camilla wasn't able to special ramp to get to her miracle there. And then Micaiah just healing up a storm. Okay, so that guy tried to attack us with Ivy, but she got hit by Foresight Snare. Then Ike player phases into Rhea, and she's still able to live with Miracle. So we're wasting a lot of his actions here. Yeah, right now, baiting is way harder to do, I would say. I mean, it wasn't actually for a little bit before we got the New Year Baldr. Because there wasn't really an offensive unit that could really do that well against this Harmonic Ike. So now that we have that Baldr, he's a little bit more questionable. But he can still certainly provide a good Omni-Tank option. Oh, that sucked. Micaiah almost would have got the kill on that Ivy, but as we all know, she does have the miracle effect. So she was able to just sneakily survive Micaiah trying to snipe her there with the Lin Ring. And then there we go, more debauchery here with our Baldr New Year. Yeah, her warping is so nuts, especially on a unit like her. I really want to give her the crown of best melee unit right now. I'm giving it to her over Camilla for the one reason alone is that her being the better defensive option of the two, whereas Camilla's more so glass cannon, gets killed pretty easily. Baldr has a hard time dying to most things. So I would say overall her for the bulk is a little better. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this next one here against Kai. All right, this time around we have the Uma Lin. We got Emblem Sigurd, another Winter Ivy at +1. We have Brave Baldr. Then we have Peony at +1, and then Emblem Lin. Yes, so Lin is able to snipe Baldr because Vanitas can't reach her. That's a known weakness, but, like, I kind of don't care as long as we break their catapults or break their fence. That's all that matters to me. All right, so he goes ahead and attacks Baldr, and he should be able to finish her. And there goes the safety fence now. So oh, he made a big mistake, by the way. He should not have broken all of those blockades because they would have obstructed my units from reaching him at that point. So he actually did himself a little bit of a disservice there by breaking all the obstacles. Because now he gave himself nowhere to hide. Like, attacking Lyn, having Lyn attack Baldr there made sense, but then the rest of it didn't. Yeah, so Camilla was able to get a snipe there. Alright, Ivy goes ahead and takes out Camilla. And from this point on, it's just going to be pretty bad here. Baldr is going to take out 2 units easy. Okay, Micaiah goes for a double rally. Yeah, and like I said, Baldr with the Edelgard ring is pretty nasty. She just gets so many actions there, man. I think Heimdallr got a KO as well there. Alright, he's still going for it, though, for some reason. So, Sigurd takes out Heimdallr. Ninja Gulveig was his special unit there. Yeah, a lot of people were talking up this Ninja Gulveig. At least one guy said I should have had her in my top 15/top 20 units video that I did. And I don't have anything against this Gulveig necessarily. I don't think she's a bad unit by any means. It's just that my problem with her is that she really can't threaten some of these sturdier tank units. And she's more so suited for the cleanup role of just having multi-actions and taking out all the stragglers at the end. Whereas, right now, we need wall busters, and then you can combine them with your other multi-action units. Alright, so there we go against Kai. Alright, we have Muhammad up next. So this guy rematched us. Alright, this time we got Goto. We have another Ninja Gulveig. We got the Emblem Edelgard. We have the Umalin. We got Brave Male Byleth, and then we have a +2 Peony. You're going to see this a lot. If enemies are not trying to bait us with a unit like Emblem Ike or maybe some combination of armored units, you're going to see stuff like this now. It's just multi-action units up the ass. So we have Edelgard, we got Gulveig. That's like one of the main things you need to be focused on right now with units like Heimdallr and Valley and so on and so forth that are just designed specifically to waste as many actions of yours as possible. You need these units that have multiple actions to be able to, like, effectively Gale Force or hit and run now. It's just mandatory. And this is why I think a lot of people are starting to quit Aether Raids, is because maybe they haven't been keeping up with the meta and they don't have some of these more recent multi-action units. And it's just a pain for them to try and keep up anymore. Like, the entry point for Aether Raid's offense is really high right now. Like, the ask of what units you're supposed to have for offense, you really just have to be running the most recent stuff, pretty much. Kind of the same for defense, too. If you're not running the most recent stuff on defense, you're going to be in a bit of trouble here. So, yeah, Aether Raids has successfully became Summoner Duels 2.0. Essentially, where if you're not keeping up completely with the meta, you're going to be falling behind. Okay, surprising that Byleth wasn't able to beat Camilla there. Not sure what the deal is with that. And then he's completely victimized by Baldr. Man, this New Year Baldr, man. What a crazy unit she is. Alright, and then we just go ahead and take out all of his units. So this guy got beaten dead. Pretty messed up way to lose. Alright, so that was Muhammad. Okay, so this one is a hard loss. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Pretty much the only hard loss that we took all season here. So we have Peony. We have the baby Camilla. We got the Emblem Edelgard. We've got the Umalin. Okay, alright, there we go. We got Gladiator Crom. You know exactly why he's there. So when he pops his assist, he inflicts the Neutralize Miracle effect, which is very bad news for Rhea and company. Rhea and Valley just get eaten alive by this Crom here. And then he has also the Winter Satyr. Ooh. Yeah, that's a pretty good offensive choice, too. I remember when New Year Satyr came out, I was using her a lot for offenses. Just being able to end an enemy action just made it so much easier to hit and run. It's a really good counter pick to Valley, too, by the way, because most of the reason why people like running Valley on defenses is because it takes 2 actions to get rid of her. But it could take 0 actions to get rid of her if you just end her turn with a unit like Satyr. So, yeah, that is one hard counter to Valley, actually. Not that Valley is that much trouble, but, I mean, in the event that you're having trouble with Valley, that could be a solution. Alright, so Edelgard, of course, with the range style, able to take out Rhea there. Edelgard has a really good matchup against the Rhea. So despite me running Pavis and, like, Shield Fighter on her, that's not really going to save her. Alright, then Camilla goes ahead and takes out our unit over there. Then we take out Baldr. So we're in pretty big trouble here. And he's still got actions to spare. Yeah, just look at how many actions. This is what offense looks like now. You're just abusing as many actions as possible. I remember not too long ago, we were talking about the possibility of Gale Force control being a passive. Like, can you imagine that now? That would actually be horrendous if they added Gale Force control now, when we just need so many actions to be able to stand a chance. It'd be pretty messed up if defenses had Gale Force control now, because at that point, I think offense would truly be out of luck. Yeah, so he saved Baldr for the end and then ended her turn with Satyr, which, very good option there, very good play. So it's not really hard to see why this was the one loss on defense we took all season. Very well played there by Kieran. It looks very similar to what I'm doing on offense, too. Just abusing actions up the ass to get an advantage. Alright, so this one here, we've got a +7 Milla. We got a +1 Rune. Oh, Fallen Dimitri with the Refine. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. He does have Undefended when he's Refined. So, yeah, pretty big weakness for this team without running King Freyr. We're going to be in snipe territory for all of his offensive units. Alright, then of course we have Duo Freya, the Dreaded, and then Goto. I really wish I had Duo Freya too, by the way. That's another unit I want. Because if you have Duo Freya, she can really augment the tanking of your armored units. Specifically if you're running a unit like Brave Ectordeer, for example. Because when he's getting augmented by the drive support of Rhea, or of Freya, it becomes really difficult for units like Baby Camilla and Baldr to actually be able to take him out. So at that point, then it starts looking a lot better if you're running him on the team and then he's giving magic save to an ally, and your ally doesn't need to run something like far save anymore. You're free to give them Fatal Smoke. So Fatal Smoke on far saves is a lot better than normal, because a lot of the far attackers do have built-in Miracle. We're seeing that, like Ivy's got it, Brave Sharena's got it, and a couple of other key ranged attackers do have it. Okay, so we're able to get a KO on this guy. Yeah, right there. So, yeah, Baldr is a complete nightmare against Ike. She turns into red style, and then she just warps, and there's no stopping her. That New Year Baldr, man, she definitely was the MVP of this season for me. Yeah, I'm surprised he's still playing on, but we did manage to get our KO there, so we are pretty much in the clear. And then we get another KO there with the other Baldr, too. Yeah, you got to watch out for her, because she has... What is it again? Hold Guide, where she can warp to allies, and allies can warp to her. It really sucks that her unique skill was in the B slot, though, because there are so many better options to give her now for the B skill that normally you would actually give her if you're not playing Aether Raids. Like, the New Year Baldr B skill is actually really good for her, because it gives her the warping and the pass, and then true damage and true damage reduction. But you're not able to run that if you want her to break the fences. Okay, so which one was that? That was this guy over here. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Yuki now. Alright, another offensive team here. We have, this time, Baby Camilla. We got the Edelgard. Interesting. Hardy bearing on Emblem Edelgard. I actually like the fact that they gave her patience, because it does let her sneakily win certain matchups, like against Burger King, for example, because he's not able to get her with Reflect if she has Patience. So, and then she does have more defense than him, so she's able to beat him for his Hardy Bearing check. But running Hardy Bearing on this Edelgard is an interesting choice. All right, then we have Goto. We have also Harmonic Lin. We got the Uma Lin there with +1. And then we have Emblem Corrin as well. All right, looks like kind of a mix of offense and defense here because he's got the save. All right, starts off a little slow, just breaking some structures. He might actually wait for his bonus reinforcement slot to come in before he starts attacking here. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. And then my unit's going to come in. So I have Edelgard coming in, but again, like I said earlier in previous videos, I'm not really sure how much the reinforcement slot actually benefits defense. Because, yeah, sure, Edelgard will come in, but then now she's the forefront of Foresight Snare, and my other units don't have it anymore. So is it actually worth putting a unit there that's going to possibly get sniped, and then we don't get to reap the benefits of Foresight Snare anymore? I don't know. I don't think that's the right way, but I did at least want to give it a try. It's been a very long time since I've actually used the bonus slot on defense. So I wanted to see if we could maybe finesse it into working. But yeah, this round, if anything was to go by, it didn't really do much. Edelgard never really came into play. So next season, I'm probably not going to do it. Or if I do it, I might run somebody else, like Ike, for example. All right, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough actions there. The one weakness to the Emblem Edelgard is that she's only got 3 actions, unlike 4, like most of the other multi-action units. And then another problem is that she doesn't have Kanto either. So it can be hard to hit and run with her sometimes, depending on the situation. Yeah, and this guy, he just did not have enough actions to really do what he was trying to do here. And we're going to get a bunch of sneak KOs now. Well, not really sneak KOs, just straight up KOs, because he couldn't get his units out of the way here. All right, Corrin saves against Micaiah, but it doesn't matter. Damage is already done. We've KO'd most of his team there. So yeah, Yuki goes ahead and surrenders. All right, next up we got this guy over here. Oh. We can't why can't we replay? He probably saw the defense and he just, like, ran away on the spot. I think that's what that means when you can't view the replay, is that they didn't even try to fight you. They just surrendered right away before doing anything. All right, so here's another one. We have another Harmonic Ike. So as we've seen, this guy just gets fodderized by Baldr. We got the Emblem Lin there. We have Entwined Ash. We got a +1 Goto. We got Vanitas, and then we have the Uma Lin there. Okay. Oh, no, he's not going to try to do the same thing as everybody else. Yeah, unfortunately for Harmonic Ike, man, he had his day as the Omni-Tank of Flavor of the Month, but unfortunately it didn't last him that long, and even Camilla was able to beat him there. He really wasn't supporting him too well then, if that's the case, because normally he has no trouble at all against Camilla. I was thinking Baldr was going to be the one to go in and attack him and then warp in and attack someone else. All right, sure. And then here is the final replay. This one we're up against K here, and K was able to win, but he did lose a unit, so it's not really a true victory on his part. So we got Goto here. We have, oh, yeah, Bride Embla, another undefended. Don't try to be a smart aleck and not run King Freyr. Like, just run him, because it doesn't matter how uncommon undefended may seem. There's always going to be people running it, right? And they have 5 options for team slots. So odds are one of them is going to try to abuse having undefended. Because if they have undefended, you're pretty much out of luck. You want to be able to deal with that. So, yeah, as soon as I get the Corrin ring, man, Micaiah's getting tossed out. We're putting King Freyr right there, and then I might ditch Vanitas for someone who I can give the Corrin ring to. Or I might just run Corin herself. I haven't figured that part out yet. But, yeah, we will see as soon as I'm able to do that. All right, Emblem Lyn, Uma Lyn. Then we got a Mythic Dagger at +10, and then also a Brave Male Byleth at +3. He's given Potent to Byleth. Did Byleth have Potent built in? I feel like he did. I could have swore this guy had Potent built in. Yeah, he totally does. He has it on his A skill. Why is this guy running Potent on Byleth when Byleth already has Potent? It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, man. All right, Camille got sniped because he hit her with undefended there. All right, and we are in a little bit of a pickle here. So his units are coming in. And we did get our KO, so now Lyn is going to go ahead and attack Heimdallr, get rid of her. Yeah, if Heimdallr ends up moving a little too far in, then you can't really abuse Foresight Snare too well. I have her in my slot 7, so she's the unit that would end her turn immediately. Hopefully trying to keep her all the way in the back, but doesn't always work out that way. Yeah, and at this point, we are pretty much just going to get fodderized now. His special unit to come in was Ninja Lucina. Not too terrible of a choice for the special slot there. She has a lot of actions, and of course she has the assist economy. Yeah, now he can just leave Vanitas alive so he can get the pots. She doesn't cover very much ground. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. GG for us, and that's pretty much how the season went. So you will notice I am still a little behind in terms of what units I'm able to run for my defense, and this was really just a test drive to see how I was able to make use of Heimdallr and Foresight Snare, as well as Baldr with her insane pass abilities and warping. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what kind of defenses you guys are running, if you're incorporating Valley on the team as well. Valley seems like she could be a potentially interesting choice, but I don't know if I'd be able to slot her in with Heimdallr at the same time. It seems like you're either going to go for one or the other. Like, either you go for Heimdallr for Foresight Snare, or you go for Valley for the possible 2-action waste on the enemy team. So that's pretty much it for this season. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.